Hi there, my name is Ron Covington and this is my video on balloon hats. Now what we're going to start with is the basic hat. It's very popular at parties. If you're clowns, I see clowns do them a lot. You can work very hard, very fast. I mean, you can knock out the kids with this. Some people call it an Indian hat or a Native American Indian headdress. But it's very simple. I twist off about 1.5 inch bubble at the end. You size the person's head. Now I always ask permission. I just don't make a hat and put it on someone's head because people get very upset. But you have your loop, and then basically all you do is twist it around, and you have the point sticking up. Fits right on their head. Very cute. You can make this, simple and quick. Very, very easy hat. But I don't want to just leave it like this when I make it. I try to be a little more creative. So what I do is I take a black balloon and burp it a little bit, and then I find the center and I make it twist creative. So what I do is I take a black balloon and burp it a little bit, and then I find the center and I make it twist here. And what we're going to do is make a single balloon braid. We twist it together, then pinch 2 bubbles like so. Then we're going to twist them in the opposite direction from each other, and this will hold a braid very nice and tight. Wrap it around, very tight, and then give it a twist up at the end so you have 2 small bubbles here on the end, if you can see here. Then what I do is I take the hat, pull a little twist here on the side, and lock these bubbles in. So it looks something like this. And I guess you can see where it's going from here. I like to call this my Pocahontas hat. It was very popular when the movie came out. Again, you twist the 2 bubbles together, pinch and twist together, and we do an opposite twist just like this. Wrap them together, make your braid. You lock it in on the other side. And this is what I call the Pocahontas hat. You can see a little better here. See here. It also fits on the head. I've got my friend here to give me a hand. And you can see here that, it's very cute. You can, for boys or girls, they can be, Indian braves or, again, the Pocahontas type. A very cute hat, goes over real well. The next thing we're going to make is the basic helmet. Now the basic helmet, again, you fully inflate a balloon, burp it a little bit. I like to give it a stretch when I make the helmet, so it gives you a higher part to your helmet. Because a lot of times people make a helmet and they tell me, they'll make the loop okay, but they have a real low, arch on the hat. So I stretch the balloon a little bit. I give it a little squeeze down through my hands like this. Size the person's head. Lock the bubble in again like I did before, like you're making the Indian hat. And then what we do is twist a little bubble on the end and to the front 180 degrees. This is your basic helmet. The boys like to call it an army helmet, but it's a basic helmet. From this basic helmet, you can also make a Viking hat. Very simple design here. To make a Viking hat, you take a white one. These are going to be the horns. Find the center. I like to keep that in the middle. Give a little twist here. And lock it in right at the very top of the helmet. Bring down to each side, nice and even. There we have it, coming up there. And do the same thing on the other side. Here we have the Viking helmet. You can see this. Very popular in Minnesota. But you can also, when you're making swords for the boys, you can make them Viking warriors and stuff like that. Now here's what I call my opera singer hat or my Wagner hat. Depends on if you're into opera or not. You take a yellow balloon. When you blow it up, you burp it pretty good, so in case they pop outside the ears or anything, it won't make a loud of noise. So you take and do the same thing with a single balloon braid. You pinch, twist, go backwards, opposite directions with the 2 small bubbles. Bring them in together, twist them off up to the top, and you end up with a braid. Now what I do is I take the two bubbles here, on this end here, and we're going to lock them right in at the side of the helmet. All kinds of jokes you can make with this. I make this for bald guys a lot. They get a real big kick out of it. Another braid, and put it on the opposite side. Twist. Back together. Two small bubbles. Lock this right here on the other one. The old thing, it ain't over till the fat lady sings. Well, here's the fat lady. And again, you have your opera singer. Very clever little thing, you know, if you want to make a shield, the sword, the whole armor, everything for this. Again, very popular hat, goes over well at adult parties and things. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to do what I call my crab hat. Very basic, simple hat. All we're going to do is make a helmet, like we did when we made the opera singer. I twist the little bubble. We're going to size the person's head, make your loop, and lock it in. Now my buddy's got kind of a fat head, so I really have to stretch it out. Twist the bubble, make your basic helmet, like this. Now at the top of your arch, in the middle, make a little pinch twist of a bubble here. You see how I pinched the little bubble off there? I don't know if you can see that. We do a little bigger so you can see a little better. See how we twisted a bubble up on the end here, like this. Now, slide it up your arm, and what you'll need is a 5-inch white round balloon. You inflate it about halfway, 2 or 3 inches, something like that. And then at the knot, in the opposite side, 180 degrees from the knot, you pinch and twist until you have 2 bubbles that are exact same size, or close enough. Where you have, can you see what I've done here? I've made 2. Now we're going to lock this in right on top of that little pinch twist we made on the helmet. And this gives it eyes. You can take your magic marker, draw a couple little spots there, and on here. And this will give it some eyes. We'll just set it on this guy's head here for a minute. Now the next thing we have to do is make some arms and claws for him. Basically, you take a red balloon, lock it in at the bubbles on the side of your helmet, come up about maybe a foot or so, make a twist, twist off another little bubble here, about 1.5 inch, 2 inch bubble here, and then give it an ear twist. This starts the claw arm going up. Up about halfway in between here, you want to twist another bubble, and then we're going to twist this. We're going to try to make one a little bit longer than the other with these last 2. And then right here at the very end, twist the bubble and lock it in. And this gives you the giant crab claw coming out of it. Now, people really get a kick out of this thing, especially down here in Maryland, because of the Maryland blue crabs and the crab feasts and things like that. Going to do the same thing on the other side, where we have, look about a foot, twist it off, and make the next part of the arm joint. Up here, and crab claws, they don't have to be even because crab claws aren't even. And then you place this on a person's head, and you can, you know, make jokes about their being a little crabby today. Let's see if I can in that picture a little bit better. But then you have the giant crab hat. And it's a very silly thing, but, you know, again, it goes over really well. Now, when making the crab hat, the more I thought about it, it kind of reminded me of somebody else that we see on TV and all, which is our buddy Elmo. So he looks very similar to Elmo, but here's the difference in between that and the crab. First you inflate your balloon, and make our basic helmet again. Basic helmets are You can build so much off of a basic helmet. It's incredible. And I'll show you a few more when we're finished here. Again, you've made your Indian hat or Native American Indian hat, whatever you like to call it, or your basic hat. And we've made the helmet. And then we're going to put that little twist up on the top of the arch here. Slide it up the arm. Excuse me. Again, a bubble about this big. You can see it here. And we're going to twist it right in the middle. Again, to form the two eyes. You can see the two eyes I've made here. Lock it in at the bubble at the top of your arch. Now, take a 5-inch round orange one. Lock it in right at this joint here between the eyes. So where you have this little kind of an Elmo looking creature. It's all 2 dots. And this alone, for small children and stuff, the parents absolutely go crazy over this. You know, it's very popular. Like I say, the kids just love it, especially the little ones. And, I mean, it doesn't look exactly like Elmo, but it's close enough. And I have found that in balloons, you know, if you pick out certain features of any character and put them on a balloon, you can get away with a lot. Now, to make an arm for Elmo, there's 2 ways you can do this. One, you can split this balloon in half and put 2 small arms coming out the sides. Or, we can take and make a long arm on each side, simply like the same thing we did with the crab, only we don't have to put the elbow joints in there. And then we just make a loop out at the end, sort of like hands here. And we'll make another one. And he gives you the impression he's reaching out to hug you once you get the other arm on. And again, that's pretty cute. It goes over well. I don't know what balloon that was, but it was a heavy one. Twist. Lock in the other side of the helmet. And again, come out here and put a couple hands, a little loop for a hand. And see, nothing here is very hard at all. These are all just basic, a loop twist here, pinch twist here. You know, it's all very, very simple. Simple things to do. And again, you can see the effect that he has, and it's like he's reaching out to grab you. Sticking with the helmet, I have another balloon hat idea that little boys like a lot, and their parents like it. I don't know why I do this in purple always, but I seem to like purple on this one. But we're going to make basically a helicopter hat. Very simple. Again, we're making the basic helmet. Quick, easy. Place it on their head. Well, when we do that, let's put that little pinch twist on the top. Now the next thing we need is the propeller for the top. So we'll do yellow. It gives it a nice contrast. I try to contrast colors and things like that. So, I didn't inflate it all the way. I left a little bit at the end so I could tie the 2 ends together here, like so. Just tie them. Where you have something that looks like this. Now all you're going to do is make a figure 8, and we're going to lock this in right at the top of the helmet. So you have something that looks like this. You can see it. Try to get it in a spot where you can see it. The next thing we do is you take another purple one, we're going to fold it in half, and we're going to do the 1 balloon braid again. Like so. Don't forget, you pinch the 2 little bubbles. Again, this is really Paul Blanche taught me this. Twist these in opposite directions, and it really gives you a real nice tight braid. Now, all we have to do is take these 2 bubbles, lock them in at one of the bubbles, preferably the one with the knot on it, at the back of the helmet. and you end up with a helicopter hat. It's, again, very cute, very quick, very easy. If you want to get really crazy with it, you can add a clear one out here for the cockpit and do all sorts of things. Put landing gear on it, whatever you want. But again, a very basic, very simple hat to do. And it goes over well, birthday parties, things like that. All the boys want to wear the helicopter hat. Oh, one thing you can do. I usually show this. So, a lot of people, you ask them what noise does a helicopter make, and they'll pop, 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 whatever. But the easiest way to do a helicopter noise is just to pat your stomach just like that. And the kids get a kick out of that. They're all running around, you know, beating themselves and everything like that. The next thing I'm going to do is a duck hat. I've had a couple of the balloon guys that I've known for a long time. When I came out with this a bunch of years ago, they looked at it and they went, "Just why didn't I think of it?" Because it's so simple. What we're going to do is we're going to start with a white 260, fully inflated but burped a bit, so we're going to need a little room for some expansion. But basically, we're going to twist off a small bubble, a 3 or 4 finger wide bubble, and another bubble the same length, so that we end up finally with 3 of these bubbles that look like they're about 3 inches long. And we do a 3-bubble roll through to where you have something that looks like that. The next thing you want to do is size the person's head, and then just like you're making the basic hat, you make that little bubble right here just like this, so that this would fit on their head like that. Now the next thing we're going to need is a orange 260. We don't have to inflate this fully. You can actually leave 3 or 4 inches, maybe 5 inches at the end. And what we're going to do is we're going to make first a loop twist, which is basically when you grab the knot, instead of twisting a bubble off, you're just twisting the knot in to make a loop. So we have something that looks like this. Now we're going to make 2 small fold twists. A fold twist here and a fold twist here. What we do now is we take the fold twist and we're going to lock this part of the fold twist here right in to this part of the thing. So the 2 small folds go right around. The 3-bubble roll through is the duck's head. Wrap that in there. Just be gentle with it, because if you get too excited with it, you can pop it. Where you have something that looks like this. See how we have it locked in here? Now, we're going to grab the very end here. This is what I call his tongue, because he's a rude duck. We grab that and we twist it right back in at this joint. This will be the lower part of his bill, to where you have something that looks like this. You can see his little tongue sticking out down here. You know, that's why I call him a rude duck. Now, if you take the end and squeeze and turn up, it gives him a little turned up duck's bill. The next thing we do is just take and draw 2 eyes and a couple little eyebrows to give him some expression, and we end up with a very basic, simple duck hat. Again, a very simple creation. And while we're thinking about ducks, let me just here for a second. I wanted to show you, this is a little something I was just goofing off one day I came up with. But it's a 2-balloon duck made out of 2 round balloons. The first one, you want to inflate a 5-inch yellow round. I guess that's about 3 inches or so. And you tie it off. Now you take the 5-inch orange one. Actually, the little round ones work very well for me. I guess you could use a 260 or whatever you want to do. But all you want to do is give a little puff of air. So it's a real tiny thing. It's no bigger than 2 inches. And you tie it off. Now at the knot, and 180 degrees from it, you pinch, I should get over here, you can see it better. you pinch it in half and twist it, where you end up with two bubbles about the same size. Then I slide them up between these two fingers like this. Okay? Now, take the yellow one that you inflated, grabbing at the knot, twist across one bubble a bit bigger than the other one, so that you have two bubbles that look like this. But then basically what we're going to do is grab the two orange ones and wrap them around this joint right here. And you end up with a little tiny duck here that is so cute that, you know, it's like very cute, very simple. It's great for small children. They can hold it. It's pretty, if you use the standard yellow, they're a little harder to pop and all, but, you know, the parents can shake the duck at them. Some people take a blue 260 and just make a loop there, but it's just a little piece of nonsense I came up with. I thought I would show you. And then you just draw a couple eyes on it, and a couple little feathers on the side, and here is your little ducky. Sort of a little rubber ducky kind of thing. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is a dinosaur hat. This is a very easy dinosaur hat to do. Let's see, what color should we do them in? We'll do them in pink. It's a real dinosaur. You take a 260, give it a stretch, and then we're going to make the basic helmet again. Let me put this stuff down here. Make the basic helmet. Just like this. There you have your basic helmet again. Now the next thing we're going to do is inflate a round one of any color you're choosing. I sort of got a sort of pastel purple color and all. And I'm going to grab another pink one here. We're going to tie the round one to the 260 to where you have something that looks like this, just sort of hanging out in the end. Now, grab a white 260, inflate it a bit. We're going to split this in half again. Remember, always split it to knot, that way you hide your knot and your eyes look so much better. And try to get them as close to the same size as you can. Take the two white eyes and lock them in right at this joint, right here. It gives you kind of a sappy looking little guy. But we draw two dots for the eyes, like so. And then we're going to make two nostrils and a little smile here. And this is your little dinosaur's face. Now if you want, you can actually take and do a long neck on it, make a dog body, and this could be a long neck dinosaur. But what I do with it is, I pinch off about a third of the way down and lock it in at the front of the helmet so that it's up in the air. And then I take the next part, make a hump the same size as this hump here on your helmet, the high arch of it. That gives you a little tail, and here we have a little dinosaur hat, and it's sort of a dino-like dinosaur, if you'll remember the Flintstones, something similar along that line. If you want to expand upon this, I've taken them and I've made like spikes going up the back to make him like a sea monster. You could put wings on him to make him like a dragon. You know, it looks very cute, very cute. It goes over real well. Now the next balloon I'm going to do is going to be a Tyrannosaurus Rex hat. It actually stands on top of the head. It's very cute, very easy to do. The only hard part to it is you're going to have to break off a bit of the balloon. But you inflate it, leaving about 3 inches uninflated at the end. Burp it a little bit. Let's see if I have another green here. In this lighting, the dark green is terrible to see, but It's okay, I think I have one here. Yeah, I do. Okay. We're going to do a 2-balloon overlap hat, which is basically you overlap it to find the size of your head that you want to put it on. So that you twist the bubble here, and you twist the bubble here. So what you have, something that looks like this. It's we use for rabbit ears, what have you. These aren't exactly even, but you can work that out. Next thing you want to do is you want to twist off about hand wide when you stretch your hand full width. Then twist off a small bubble, and this is going to be one of the dinosaur's knees. Do the same thing on the other side. You twist off, again, hand wide up. Twist off another one for the knee. Now, you bring the balloons together at a center point. Twist them together, and this is where you have to do a little breaking or trimming off or what have you. You can tie that here, and do the same thing with the other one, where you can just tie them off. And what you're going to have basically is something that looks like this. I'll just over here a little bit better. So it's basically the two come up, you twist off a knee here. This would be the thigh. This is a thigh, the calf, and the knee here. Now the next thing we're going to do is grab another green 260. And let's see. Well, let's make them a little different color. We're going to take a 5-inch round, tie the round one onto the end of a 260. Take a yellow round, pinch it in half. This is going to be the dinosaur's eyes. Now, we're going to do the same thing we did on the other dino hat. We're going to lock it in right about here, so that gives you that dinosaur look. You can see what I'm saying. Now, twist off sort of like a dog body, couple legs. These are going to be his front, like claws coming at you. Now make a small twist in the back and ear twist here, and this will hold him in position. So we have the round split in half. You've got the neck of the dinosaur, these two front paws, arms, whatever you call them, and an ear twist here in the back. Now all we do is come down here to the center where we had tied these off. We're going to slide it through here, and we're going to give it a little twist, just like this, and this will be your giant Tyrannosaurus Rex standing on somebody's head. Let me straighten the knees out. We draw a couple eyes. A nose. And then a bunch of sharp teeth. Very simple. Very simple thing to do. Like I say, the hardest part is just doing the 2-balloon overlap, breaking it and tying it. But this is what you end up with, is your Tyrannosaurus Rex dancing around here on this guy. You can see, let me get out of the way here. But that's your Tyrannosaurus Rex. You can see him standing there looking all ferocious and stuff. Okay. Now, the next balloon I do is something I call an is it, because everybody asks me, what is it? Again, we're going to do the 2-balloon overlap. And it's very simple. Again, I call it that because they overlap in 2 directions. You find the size of the head just by doing this. Twist your bubble here. And pinch and twist the 2 of these together for your next bubble here. And this will give you the basic hat. Again, you know, you can turn this upside down, it can be hippie braids, all sorts of things. But you can see that it does fit the head nicely. Now, what I do is, I take the balloons and I bring them up in the center and crisscross them and twist them together. Then I take one of the balloons, it doesn't matter which one, and just give a little twist and make an ear twist there, so that these are going forward a little bit, and it'll help hold them up when I put the eyes on. The eyes again are just a white round one. Pinch it in half. And we're going to lock these in right here at the top for the two twists on it, so that you have something that looks like this. There's your two eyes and there's two antennae. If you give a little twist here and squeeze, that'll take your bubbles up to the end for the antenna. Now the next thing I want to do, let's draw some eyes on this guy here. Draw two eyes here. The lights up. So that you have something. Again, it's a silly looking thing. But then I take a 524. If you can find any 524s, grab them. There are other things you can use. You can use round balloons on this and everything. This is basically going to be his nose. But they have printed balloons. TRex has the spray. There's all kinds of different balloons you can use for a nose. But I like the 524s whenever I get them, I buy them. You can also use a V-body. We tie it off. And then what we do is we're going to lock this right in between the eyes. Like so. Take the knot or the nozzle end, just wrap it around in there. Make sure this is right between the eyeballs. Roll your eyes, make sure they're looking the right direction. And you can see why people say, what is it? I mean, it's a silly looking thing, but it really goes over well. All the balloons I do, when I pull that thing out, people are like, that is nuts. Now the next thing you can do, if you want to build on this hat a little bit, if you really want to go crazy with it, and you can, again, you can do this for the birthday boy, the birthday girl. You can start adding arms to them. Real long arms. Something that looks like this. And let's do another long arm here. Just above one, just lock it in on the side. Again, these are not real hard to do. You know, you can change these things up any way you want to do it. Everything is an expansion on something else. So now you've got this creature with these big long arms sticking out. Two things you can do. One, you can take a balloon, 260, break it in half, attach it to the hands out there, and make like a marionette kind of thing. You can do the same thing with the Elmo or any of these things that have arms coming out. But what I like to do with this guy, being an alien that he is, I've heard some people say he's a Cusbanian. I'm not sure. I don't know if you remember the Muppets, they had that Cusbanian episode on. But you can also make a little laser blaster, a little kind of laser gun that you can see that you can take and put him in his hand. So then he's walking around and he's looking very armed and dangerous. Again, it's just a silly little thing, but people really love this when I'm doing, you know, bar mitzvahs, parties, and things like that. I would be a bit remiss in not mentioning a couple crowns that I like an awful lot. I wish I could take credit for them. The first person I saw do this one was Captain Visual. It's basically the Queen, I call it the Queen of Hearts crown, and, you know, the Princess crown, what have you. But you're basically making a helmet. So you have something, a basic helmet. I'm going to put it on this guy, I hope he doesn't mind. Then you take two pink 260s. Hold them in half. Again, I like to keep that in the center. Give it a twist. Give this a twist. And we're going to lock them together. Now what you do is take them right through the center of the arch, the top of the arch, and you twist them up there to where you have something that looks like this. Do this in green and orange, it would look like a chia pet hat to me. But you take two of them together, twist them, take it to the back of the helmet here, and lock them in at that level. Do the same thing on the opposite side. Twist the two of them together. Bring them forward. And give it a twist. And this is the shape of your crown. You can see it taking shape. Like I say, when Captain Visual showed this, I was like, wow, that's very cool. Now we're going to take a heart balloon. Very simple thing to do. Just wrap the heart in around at the top. You can make the little girl, even the boys like these things. Usually for the boys though, I make a cross like a sword on top, and I do it like red and yellow and stuff like that, so it's not quite so feminine looking, but it all depends on what they want. And here we have your basic Queen of Hearts. The Queen of Hearts, she baked some tarts on a summer's day. The Knave of Hearts, he stole those tarts and gave them all away. Now if you're rushed for time and you want to do something a little different, Paul Belanger showed me this. Very quick, very easy crown to do. Same thing, basic helmet. Now you take a pink one, or whatever color you like. Again, fold it in half, in the middle. Now instead of locking it up on the center part of your arch here on the helmet, go to the front a little bit and lock it in. Now like at the 2/3 mark, up close to the front, to where you're going to end up with something like this, like rabbit ears. And now twist the two of them together, the two pink ones, and bring them to the back of the helmet. Again, this is just a variation. And this gives you a crown effect, a totally different crown effect. When you see it on the kids, you'll see what I'm talking about, but it gives it a totally different crown effect. Now the next one I'm going to do is, I think my favorite one. We might as well do Homer Simpson. I've shown Homer Simpson a couple times at conventions and such. But to do Homer Simpson, you're going to need a couple 5-inch yellow balloons, rounds. The first one, you inflate fully. Or you don't want to pop it, but inflate it close to full. And tie it. The next 5-inch round one, you inflate it about halfway and tie it. Now, you're not going to twist anything from the knotted end here. What we're going to do is we're going to twist a bubble on the top of this. It's just a small bubble, and this would be Homer's nose. You see what I'm talking about here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the knotted end of the larger yellow one and wrap it right here at this joint. Wrap it around there good and tight. Now you can see here that Homer's head's already starting to take shape. Now, the next thing you want to do is inflate a 5-inch white round one, about 3 inches, 2.5, 3 inches. Tie it. Again, pinch it at the knot here, where the knot is. You want to pinch across the center there so you're hiding the knot. Give it a twist. And then what we're going to do is we're going to lock it in right above the nose, where you have Homer's eyes and stuff. And he's starting to take shape now. Now, Homer Simpson has 2 dots for eyes. I just put a small little sort of a grimace look on his face, was downward smile on. And Homer has 3 pieces of hair on top of his head. And on the sides, he has sort of a W-shaped thing. To where you end up with Homer looking like this. And that's our Homer Simpson head. And you can tuck that up under your arm or have the person that's that you're making this for hold it. The next thing I do is I take a blue 260, navy blue. We make the basic helmet again. Again, lock it in. The basic helmet. Now, we're going to take and give a twist right about in the center. And then we're going to, I don't know if you can see this twist here, but we're going to take this knotted end of the lower half of Homer's head, and we're just going to wrap it around there a bunch of times so it doesn't come off. So that you're getting a hat that looks like this. Okay. Now we need a white balloon for Homer's arms. This is him coming home from church or going to work, because he's going to wear a tie with this too. And this will be his white shirt. You can get really fancy with this. You can put yellow hands on him. I also make this Homer Simpson out of larger balloons, 9-inch rounds and 350s and things like that. But this is just a very quick hat. But I've taken a white balloon, twisted it in half, and then put a little ear twist here. And this is just to hold Homer's head up in place. Now, we're going to we lock it in right here under the yellow part of his head in between the helmet. Now we're going to just make a couple quick folds here for hands. But I think Homer needs a tie on him, so what we're going to do is we'll just inflate a red one. Now, usually I use a 350, but I mean a 160, but I don't have any in my hand right now. But so what I'm going to do is just use a 260. And again, just wrap this in right here between his arms. And here you have Homer Simpson wearing a tie, getting ready to go to work or church or whichever. And again, it's probably one of the most popular balloons out there that I do now, because as soon as people find out I can make Homer, they like go nuts. Now, what fun would it be having Homer unless we make Marge Simpson? Marge is a little bit more difficult, but not very much. We're going to do sort of the same thing, except we only need one yellow one. And we don't blow it up all the way. It's about 4.5 inches. And then we're going to need a couple eyes for her, which is the round one. You can make her eyes a little bit smaller. Again, pinch it in half. And we form the two eyes here. Now what we want to do is, like we did before, go up to this end, and we're just going to twist off a little smaller nose for Marge. Again, some of these things take a little practice, but to where you have the balloon that looks like this, if you can see that. Okay. And you lock in her eyes, just like this. Now, for her hair, which a lot of people said you have trouble with, again, this is the reason I love the 524s, but Paul Belanger, he also sells Slim Jims, and you can get them in like blues and stuff, dark blues that look very good, and it'll definitely work for her. But any kind of long cylindrical balloon that you can find in navy blue, it looks really nice on this. Excuse me. Now, what we do is, right between her eyes, we're going to take and lock this long blue one in and wrap it around there a few times to where she's going to look like this. Now, one thing you can do is take and twist off a little bubble, and it'll hold her head up straight, like make an ear twist down here on this 524. This will help hold her head, her hair up straight without it tilting back and up. Now we have Marge's hair, her nose, and her eyes. I have the worst habit of sticking these markers in my pocket to go on all the shows and stuff. But we just basically draw a couple of small dots for her eyes and a couple eyelashes. And then a little smile here, like so. Again, you can get the person that you're making this for to hold it for you, or you can stick it under your arm while you're making the rest of it. Now the rest of her is pretty easy to do. You need, the winter green looks better, I think. But again, we're making the basic helmet. Now Marge seems to wear a lot of sleeveless dresses. So again, what we're going to do is we're going to do a little twist here. Actually, I'm sorry, and this we're going to give a little ear twist here. Then we're going to lock her head right just like this, to where this will be her green sort of dress looking outfit. Now the next thing we're going to do is we need to make a yellow balloon, fully inflated. We're going to make her arms sticking out. I wish I had standard yellow right now, but I don't. But take the 260, fill it up all the way, burp it some, put a pinch twist in the middle here. And this again will help hold her arms out in place. So we're going to lock this in, just like here. And so you're starting to get the Marge look. Now we have Homer and Marge. Now, Marge does wear red pearls, or I guess they're red beads, but they're red. And all you have to do is take a red balloon and just twist off a few pearls and put around her neck. Small pearls on, probably 5 or 6 of them, whatever it takes to go around. And then you'll break it off and tie the, break off the excess and tie it in the back, so that she looks something like this. It's okay, every time a balloon pops, that means an angel beats its wings. So, anyway, this is Marge Simpson. Very, very popular balloon. Again, you do a couple with this and people are very, very pleased with this. I think I have time. I'm going to make one more balloon. Let's see, what do I have here? I think what we're going to do is try to make the wizard's hat. It's just a sort of a spin-off on the Santa Claus hats, things like that. I hate when that happens, but it's part of the game. But basically, the wizard's hat, again, we're going to start with that 2 balloon overlap. But what we're going to do is we're going to have longer pieces on the ends here. Let me get out here so you can see this a little better. But when we twist it, you're going to want pieces about this big sticking out, instead of having the little bubbles like we do on the other hats. So basically, we're going to size up the person's head. Give it a twist here, and a twist here. We want to make sure that we're close to having the same length on each side. So where you have something that looks like this. Now to spring, I didn't inflate them fully. I left a little bit uninflated. I'm going to bring it up. Royal Sorrel does a witch's hat that's just like this. But, you know, like I said, I played around with it one day and I thought, gee, that'd make a really cool wizard's hat. A little bit of work. Take another purple 260. Twist off a bubble here at the end of the piece sticking out the side here. Bring it around to the other side. And we're going to want to twist off a bubble here. I have been blessed to meet a lot of these really good balloon guys that are out there. Guys like Royal, Mike Decker, Paul Belanger, all these guys. So I've learned a lot from these guys, and I'm very happy about that. Now let's see, we need another purple. This is making the brim of the hat, basically. Cat Visual's another one of my favorite guys. Very talented people. So you end up with this giant, it's a witch's hat for all intents and purposes right now. Now the next thing we have to do is we want to make a beard for it, which is a 3 balloon braid. I would use my electric pump. I've had a lot of people want to buy it from me, but it makes a little bit of noise. And one more for the beard. And we're going to twist off 3 small bubbles. And we're going to do this 3 balloon braid, which is basically hand over hand over hand. Make the braid. Get up to the end, we want to twist off 3 small bubbles. And we're going to lock them right in here at the side of the witch's hat. Actually now it's going to be a wizard's hat. And again, lock it in to the other side. To where you have the hat really starting to take shape now for a wizard's hat. Now we need a mustache. Round them in. Give a little ear twist in the center. And we're going to shove it right down through a couple of the different openings in the braid. Like so. To where now you can see it's starting to look like the Santa Claus hat or something like that. Now the other thing I do a little different is I take a pink balloon and I add it right in the center of the mustache. And it sort of gives the wizard some character, the nose and all. And you'll see here in a second what I'm talking about. If you can see how the wizard's starting to take shape now here. Let's see here, let's see that a little bit better. And the last thing we do for the wizard's hat is we take a 5-inch, I mean a 260. Inflate it, burp it a lot because we're going to make a 5-petal flower, or actually 6-petal flower, which is a very simple thing to do, as long as it doesn't pop on you. And all this down through that. But you can make a 4-petal flower, whatever flower you have learned. And we add this right at the very top of the wizard's hat. And it sort of gives it a mystical star point effect here, if you can see what I've made here. You can turn the mustache up a little bit, But again, this is a very popular hat. Well, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you've learned a few hats that you can use out there in public. I've had a lot of fun with these hats. When people see them, they just, you hear things like, I have never seen that before. So, you know, try it, change it, do whatever you want with it. It's a fun job to have, and you know, when you're making hats and stuff, people really enjoy that. Plus, you're being more creative, and you're getting your work seen. You know, you can make a balloon dog for a kid or something, which is nice. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But it ends up, mom's got it, it's on the ground and everything. But when it's on a child's head or an adult's head, the people who have hired you are seeing what you do. So that's why I stress doing as many hats as you can. And again,